Reinvention. Success is a very nuanced thing because what got you to where you are today is significantly significant likelihood not going to get you to the next level because every significant major level in your life has some new set of rules. So the growth mindset from Carol Dweck or adaptability, flexibility, my mom call it uh, rising from the ashes like the phoenix. I'm calling it here reinvention is really the key to your success because we all try to map out, we all have like a mental maps of what we need to do in order to get what we want and to feel how we feel. But at certain points, they fail us. That's why paradigm shifts come into play. Like we think of, they had a paradigm shift that the world is flat and that they kind of like, mind melded to that. And then, they had to drop that and realize that the world is round, the earth is round. And we had, an idea that time and space are absolute, that Einstein came along and talked about how they're relative. So we have paradigm shifts and we have to reinvent ourselves. Like right now, I think one of the things throughout history has been that we consider ourselves physical beings. And I think there's a growing awareness, not conscious, I think, for the most part, but kind of like welling up from the subconscious or the unconscious or both, that we're really spiritual beings. I mean, like the reason Black Lives Matter and throughout history, like our whole social evolution, has been little by little by little by little, but I think it's increasing, a recognition that we have to be humane to each other, that we are spiritual beings living in physical bodies. Even our physical bodies are just coagulations of spiritual thoughts. Like the chair is not a chair. The chair is just a coagulation of energy that eventually the molecules will break down into something else. But right now it's in chair form. Um, so this whole reinvention is going through a paradigm shift. I think, the Black Lives Matter and the pandemic and all the events before that throughout history, I think, are always building upon each other. They say that we live on the shoulders of giants. I mean, the world is just all the manifest man-made creations, man-made and woman-made creations are just a collection of ideas that people have had. Like the car didn't used to exist; it was an idea. The internet didn't exist; it was an idea. So we're building upon the ideas of the past as we go forward into the future, but we always have to be open to paradigm shifts of what's going to happen. I mean, Elon Musk had an idea of bringing us to Mars, and once we do get to Mars, if that happens, which seems likely, then we'll be going on to the next level. Like, do we want to go to, some of the moons of Jupiter, if that's possible, or do we want to send avatars out into the universe as we colonize the solar system? Um, so Donald Trump, who I don't agree with certain things, obviously, I'm not, this podcast is not about politics, but he did say one thing that I really do agree with. He said that if you're going to be thinking, this is a paraphrase, but if you're going to be thinking anyway, and we all have to think, because that's how our brains are wired, then hardwired, then you might as well think big. And I agree with that, is that they say that if you have 100% success in reaching your goals, that your goals are too small because you need some stretch goals that help you to reinvent yourself as a person. And if you have zero, sorry about laughing, but if you have 0% success, then your goals are too big because, it's just a pipe dream if you can't accomplish anything that you set out to do. So there has to be some margin of safety and some margin of error where you're accomplishing a lot of what you want to accomplish, but you're also stretching yourself to get to the next level, and you recognize the paradigm shift. So to really become the person that you are meant to be, you have to give up some of the past. And sometimes that means giving up relationships or jobs or opportunities that served you at one time that no longer serve you. And that's scary because the growth mindset actually involves being excited by change. Like, I have always been a person, I think one of my superpowers is that I am very, 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 very adaptable. And change used to scare me, but now it excites me because I know that something better is coming, and because I'm always leveling up to the next level. I mean, I'm not looking for change. I'm happy with where I am, because if you're not happy with where you are, if you're not mindful, if you're not appreciative, then you can't really, because success is always in the present moment. But I'm always 100%, if I can, be satisfied with where I'm at, but anticipating the next level as well. Is kind of like two sides of the same coin. So lately I've been experiencing a little bit of anxiety. Anxiety is too strong a word, but maybe like a little bit of nervousness, which is not typical for me, because the rate of change in my life is accelerating over what it used to be before. So there is a part of me that is excited at the same time, because if the amount of change that's occurring in my life is much greater than what it usually is, then the potential for growth and accomplishment is much greater than what it normally is. And I've been having a lot of successes lately. So if there's a possible quantum leap, then I'm very excited about that. But to be honest, I'm nervous also, because it's like change is also like the ground that you're standing on. It's like you're used to a certain kind of, ground. It's like sometimes people don't leave relationships that are not good, because it's like the bad that is in some people's mind better than the possibility of what you don't know. There's a famous saying, I'm forgetting the exact words to that effect, but basically I'm excited and nervous at the same time, because things are a little bit unstable in my life. Unstable is too strong a word, because I have a lot of stability in some areas, but and a lot of prosperity. But sometimes we know that bigger change is coming, but we don't know what's on the other side of it. But we have to learn how to navigate. Like they say, the best entrepreneurs can process the most ambiguity, because what happens is, if you're and I'm not saying that one is better than the other, because security is important also, but if you're like in a 9-to-5 job, there's ambiguity in any job as well, but there may be like more of a sense of like, what you have to do every day. When you're an entrepreneur, it's kind of like you have to, like they say metaphorically, build the airplane while you're up in the air, which is not that easy to do. So the more ambiguity that you can handle in life, and the more redefining yourself that you could do in life, if you could do that and manage that successfully, then you're in really good shape. Because the higher levels that one reaches in life, you'll see that these people always have good instincts, and they don't just rely on cut and paste formulas, but they actually live in the moment and react to the moment. Like if you watch the shows, like I like to watch Billions, and I don't have that much time to watch, but I like to like actually study both real and fictional very high achievers and see how they do it. And in any kind of situation like that, you'll see that a lot of it is instinct. It's instinct based upon experience, but it's also instinct based upon reinvention.